What is this?
In Japan, women only
Do not touch the right! Or on the right!
Climbing a Mayan pyramid? What is going on? Hey guys, today we are diving into the insanity of people who are suffering from full-blown main character syndrome. Now, this behavior can be found everywhere, but it seems to be getting worse, and it's especially prevalent among travel influencers who are treating the countries they're going to as their personal playgrounds. Now, one of the biggest victims of this is Japan, and that's leading to a growing resentment of many tourists. So we're going to be taking a look at that specifically, main character syndrome in general. But before we start, make sure you are subscribed, hit the notification bell. Let's begin. Let's start with a trend that, in my opinion, perfectly captures main character syndrome, right? So these people just walk in public, zoom in on random strangers' faces, and then convince themselves that everyone is staring at them in awe. The delusion is real because they're not obsessed with you. Most of these people are just giving her the side eye, and I can't play the audio, but the music they choose is always insane. Like, they hype themselves up so much. Walking down the street, people's reactions. Okay. Hot take, but both men and women, in my opinion, should wear shirts, right? Once you leave the beach, you should wear a shirt. So maybe some of these people who are wearing a shirt are looking because they find it disrespectful, not because they're mesmerized by your presence. I think this is so narcissistic. It's normal. People look at each other all the time. Happens to everyone. Welcome to life. Don't be shy, marry yourself, man. Then we have Where's Waldo and his brother. This guy needs to pull up his pants. They're literally about to fall off. No further comment. Okay, I finally found one I don't hate. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still, narcissistic since all her videos are just her walking and showing how people look back at her. But at least she makes an attempt to blur out their face, first of all. And she's not zooming in on strangers and holding them hostage for content like the other people. And also, her style is actually amazing, unlike the others who are either wearing nothing or close to nothing, or just very basic outfits. So I think this one makes more sense as something that people might actually notice. Where's the person who's filming this? In the sky? Is it a drone? Like, how did she do this? Walking down the street reactions, Japan edition. When I watch these, I wonder, am I missing something? Guys, when you walk down the street, people glance at each other all the time. But he literally looks back at the camera like, did you see that? Oh my goodness, everyone's obsessed with me. No one loves this guy more than this guy. This trend just proves how narcissism is a huge problem, especially in Gen Z. Now, don't get me wrong, confidence is great. It's important to have a healthy self-image, but one can take things too far. When you're treating yourself like you're perfect and you're assuming that everyone is obsessed with you, you have a problem, right? Because that's not true. Watch the people's reactions around. Oh my goodness. This girl just tries to get away from you. And then he rolls onto these random guys? Okay, hello, personal space? Ew. What is he trading for? This looks like a cricket when I try to kill it. In my last video, we talked about women's only gyms. This might be yet another reason why that might be a good idea. I don't know. I've never seen a woman do something like this. Now, don't get me wrong. It's very impressive. But is the screaming necessary? And then look at this. What is this? I don't know. Misusing equipment for attention, screaming. There's a difference between pushing yourself and putting on a full Broadway production in the middle of a gym. Now, you couldn't avoid these people on the street when you were trying to make your way to the gym. Then when you got to the gym, they were still there. Now you're hungry, right? And you want to go to a restaurant, eat some food, peace and quiet. No, of course not. That's so funny. Like, these are grown men and women doing this. Can you imagine also how awkward that is afterwards? Like, you just have to sit there with everyone looking at you like you're crazy, blasting inappropriate music prank.
Grab your I'ma make you motion, yeah. In Poland.
It's fine, I'm in love with two dudes at one time and they team.
Okay, unfortunately I found that funny, but you still should not do that. This is more, I think, of a harmless prank compared to the others, right? But imagine you're studying for an important exam and that's what you have to listen to.
Oski, the dope man, was a from round my way. Music addict when...
Now Now imagine you're out for your anniversary, or you're in a serious business meeting trying to close a deal. And then this guy starts traumatizing everyone. You say, okay, no food for me. Let me just get on the subway, right? Well, no, he's there as well. Intermission? And we're back, okay. I'm pissing myself trying not to laugh. This random guy stood up and recorded himself singing Lost Boy. The entire carriage was trying not to cry.
I closed my eyes, I saw a shadow.
I've been in a situation like this. I have to laugh. When this happens, it's really hard not to.
Hello everybody, I'm so sorry in advance. My name is Alexander Starr. I just released a song. I'm trying to get more listens. I'm going to sing it for you guys right here. I hope you enjoy. I don't want your money. I'm a little drunk and I can cry now.
How are people not embarrassed to do this? I took a choir into a subway and this happened.
Baby, still had a note to me. So I'm falling down, cause you can't be found. A lonely room, had I known that you needed him when you looked at me.
Oh, that girl was so done. And I totally get it. Oh, actually, this is the one. This is the one that's really had enough.
Watch out! Go, go, go! It's coming! It's coming! Go!
Okay, so not only is this just annoying, but it could actually be dangerous, right? Imagine someone sitting there had PTSD, a medical condition, and suddenly all these people are running down screaming in terror. Someone could have panicked, had a medical episode, got injured trying to escape the threat that wasn't even there. I mean, it's all fun and games until it's not. Sis really thought she was the main character. Sis was just trying to get to her destination in peace. And you are the one with the main character syndrome. Now, unlike New York City, where people just suffer through it, it's kind of expected there, the public transport in Japan is quite different. I've never seen something like that. I'm gonna be so honest. Like, I've never seen people form a line to get into the subway. I've showed it before, but this video kills me every time.
I hear your heart beat to the beat of the drums. Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone while you're here in my arms. Let's make the most of the night.
See, look, I just got back from Japan and it's completely quiet on the trains. It's considered rude to be loud like that. Yeah, even in places like New York City, where we see most of these videos come from, right? It's still rude. Look at this one. Are you kidding? This girl looks so uncomfortable. The discomfort on their faces is obvious. Let's say you filmed this, for some reason you couldn't tell that everyone wanted you to stop, but you'd watch it back and you still decided to post it? You are disturbing everyone. Maybe he knows he doesn't care. Okay, he looks like a worm having a seizure. Ah, so fun, so cool. Can you just not do that on the train though? Can you do it somewhere else where people can walk away if they don't want to see that? Now let's talk about Japan, because it's become an extremely popular tourist destination, and with that we've seen a surge of rude tourists arriving with main character syndrome. I think that part of the issue is that Japan in general tends to attract a certain kind of person, not always, but sometimes people don't see it as an actual country, rather some kind of fantasy, you know, anime world where they think they can do whatever they want, right? Well, okay, that's not the case. No one should be idolizing Japan, or any country for that matter, and treating it like some kind of utopia where you can do whatever you want. First of all, every country has its flaws, right? No place is perfect. And also, when you go to another country, you have to look up the rules, what is considered respectful and disrespectful there. The issue is that so many influencers know that many Japanese people tend to be polite and, you know, try to avoid confrontation. Not all, but many. They actually take advantage of that when they film content. And this has led to a growing frustration with foreigners in Japan. And that's sad, because for respectful tourists, that just ruins the perception of all foreigners. Specifically, the outrageously rude streamers who do anything for views, even if it means harassing the locals. So for example, we have this man here who throws a snowball at a Japanese man's face just to get subscribers.
Drop the 100 subs. This dude right here that looks like he's having a nice day. Sumimasen.
Okay.
Sorry.
何ですかいやいやいや何ですか
Hug. Hug.
いやいやいや
Sorry. Sorry. Go
What's
to
wrong
my
with
side.
you? What's wrong with you?
Wait, what?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I just threw a snowball.
Yeah, why? Why
Do you want
in the
me to-
face? Why in the face of...
Mind you, he said for 100 subs. I mean, no amount of subs would be worth it, but for 100 subs, you are harassing this man. So while we can all see how insane this behavior is, I wanted to hear from someone who actually grew up in Japan. I spoke to Japanese YouTuber Shohei Kondo, who actually moved from Japan to the US. So let's hear from Shohei.
I'm not blaming that Japanese guy at all, but the fact that he kept smiling, other tourists helped him out. I know he wanted to avoid more problems, and he was also working there, so he was stuck there, and I understand he wasn't used to that kind of situation. We tend to ignore these people. Most of us are really scared to speak up in English, but sadly, that's exactly what these influencers want to do in Japan. They can get attention and have a nice Japan background behind them, and they face no problem. And the reason why I said intentionally is most tourists know the common sense, you know? Even Japan has a lot of rules. It's not that hard to follow or observe if you have common sense.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know, we do again. What's your ethnicity?
I'm Korean.
Then sit down.
So this Korean man confronts him.
Sit down, brother.
Why don't you sit your...
Korean War, you know what happened? Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You know what we do to you? Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
In places like New York City, this is very expected, this kind of crazy behavior, right? People screaming at each other and saying people on the subway. It doesn't make it okay, but it also means that people are kind of used to it, and it's not as shocking when we see videos. In New York City, though, chances are you'd find someone even crazier than you who would put an end to it. Let's just say,
Stop! Stop!
Recently, locals started raising a voice actually. A shrine in the Tsushima Island totally banned tourists. And also some private street that in the Gion, in the Kyoto, usually open to the public. But because of tourists, they banned getting. Even I can't get in.
I also remember this vlogger who went into the women-only train carriage.
Guys, did you know in Japan they have women-only carriages?
You know what kind of train this is?
I'm the women inspector checking there's only women on this carriage.
Ew! That was so disgusting.
Yep. There's only women here.
Completely idiot. Sadly, in Japan, we really need to have these cars. You know that some train line in Japan, especially rush hours, it gets really crowded and very chaos. And I have a friend who grew up in Tokyo, and she told me that sadly, the molestation happened on a daily basis. So I'm sure a lot of women feel safe in that car, female-only car. So this guy is kind of harassing old women in that car.
Look at this. Gymnast influencer slam for vulgar and insulting routine at sacred Japanese shrine. Yeah, that would be the place to do pull-ups. Do these people have brain damage or something? I just don't really understand.
Shinto is Japanese religion, and I know it's not popular worldwide, but it's like doing pull-ups on cross for Christian. But I do understand that comes from probably ignorant.
Here she's taking a photo of a geisha like she's at a safari, literally running after her. Can you not see the woman just wants to get away from you? Why is it so hard to just follow the rules or do basic research before you arrive? I love traveling too. I love taking photos. I love filming videos. It's not that difficult to read the signs or ask someone around you when you are confused, because at the end of the day, you are a guest in their country, so you have to act like it.
This is a great example of how tourists take advantage of Japanese quietness or politeness. 迷惑外国人 meaning troublesome foreigners or troublesome tourists. Anyone who break laws, had bad manners, disrupt harmony we have in Japan. And we don't like who break that. Because of that rule, Japan can stay Japan. So whether you are Japanese or not, if you encounter these people, I really appreciate if you raise a voice.
Moving on to London. I've actually been here.
Do not touch the reins! Get off the reins!
Why would you touch the horse? There are signs there that they might bite.
Stop back!
3 times this woman tries to touch also a coat and shorts.
Get off the reins!
Ew, why did this one not leave? I don't know. Some people think that the rules don't apply to them because they just look so good because it's for Instagram. Oh my goodness. This woman is climbing a Mayan pyramid. And apparently she thinks that people are cheering for her, but they're booing her. I don't know. What about common sense? If you saw that no one else was climbing the pyramid, why would you climb the pyramid? Someone says she's lucky the crowd didn't chant sacrifice, sacrifice. The fact that people were yelling jail at her makes it 100 times funnier. Let's say you finally escape the nightmare of these obnoxious tourists. You make it to the airport. You're safe. No, kidding, you're not. Before you even get on the plane, you're greeted by people dancing. This guy just throws his shoes. Ew. And your face is on the carpet of the airport. The airport floor.
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay, then you finally make it on the plane. And this happens. Look at this guy trying to take a video. He was just trying to sleep. Where are the flight attendants? What is going on? I'll be honest, people that talk loudly on FaceTime on planes before takeoff without headphones, so we have to listen to the whole conversation, lack self-awareness to a level I cannot get on board with. 100% agree. Because I think everyone wants to hear them speak, right? They love the sound of their own voice and they can never shut up. POV your whole flight are Swifties. Oh, I can't think of anything worse. Well, not everyone's a Swiftie, so you shouldn't be singing.
Don't you need me like I need you now? Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy.
This poor woman. Can you guys just be quiet? By the way, I hate this song so much.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
That is so embarrassing.
Take me home.
No, literally take me home. I want to go home. We got stranded on our plane in Iceland for 10 hours. We had instruments on the plane and decided to start a sing-along. Imagine having to hear this for 10 hours. I can't. You're an a cappella group, so you can sing literally anywhere. No, you can't.
That's what we become. That's what we become.
Walking past a funeral, let's say, are you gonna show up? Are you gonna say, actually, everyone shut up, let's pause this thing. La 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 la. Look, sing where people can walk away if they want. Exactly. This is inconsiderate. When I was a flight attendant, I would have shut this down. Absolutely not. We actually asked before we did this, got an okay from our fellow passengers. We would never want to force it upon anyone. You asked every single passenger? I don't think so. This is just like the I'm so attractive, everyone's staring at me crowd, right? Like from the beginning when you're walking down the street, everyone loves me. I'm everyone's type. No. Even if you are conventionally beautiful or handsome, you're not everyone's type. Not everyone is staring at you. Not everyone is into you, right? And same thing here. I'm such a good singer. Everyone wants to hear me sing. No, some people just want to take a nap. Maybe there's a mother on the plane who just put her baby to sleep, but now the whole flight has to hear the child screaming and crying, and the poor mother has to hear that because you decided that you just had to give everyone a concert right now. Many are exhausted from a long day of traveling. They should not have to listen to this. Maybe you want to complain to a flight attendant. Well, this is what's happening with the flight attendants now.
I didn't think that, you know, being so happy can turn into something like this.
Nell Diallo was having a great time dancing and twerking in the aisle on an empty plane before an early morning flight.
In her uniform at her workplace. She thought that was appropriate. Okay.
No, I decided to just take advantage of the moment to wake myself up and kind of get myself like hyped up for my day, basically.
She posted the video on TikTok along with the caption, "What's wrong with a little twerk before work?"
Girl, you are not at a nightclub. You are at your workplace. How is this even a debate?
But after the video went viral, she says Alaska Airlines fired her.
What did they say to you?
They just said that I broke their social media policy.
Nell had only been on the job for 6 months. She says she was twerking to celebrate the end of her probationary period.
You know, some people just can't fathom the idea that not everything is about self-expression and fun. Sometimes you have to be serious. You are ignoring the fact that you are representing an airline, correct? So why would you think this is appropriate? And of course, instead of taking responsibility, she plays the victim card.
I put on such a proud face every time I stepped on that plane. And for them to terminate me without giving me a chance, it just was unfair.
Well, they did give you a chance, and that's what you chose to do. At this point, is there anywhere that you can avoid these people with main character syndrome? You can't go work out, you can't go eat, you can't go on a plane, a library. But you know, instead of being that person, making everyone cringe, making them uncomfortable, getting banned from places, potentially getting arrested, and embarrassing yourself for clout, you can actually be a respectful traveler, a respectful influencer, just a respectful person in general. Read the rules. Learn basic etiquette, especially on public transportation. And stop trying to always be the center of attention, right? Not everyone is obsessed with you. Sometimes people look at you because you might just be annoying. Being confident, enjoying life, being silly at times, that's great. But acting like a main character at the expense of others, not so much. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.